Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. Let's get straight to this. Deonte Banks has been getting better and better every week. He's had some struggles. He's definitely had some struggles over the last month, over the last couple of games. Um, he's had some struggles, but they haven't been major struggles. Uh, I would say that the struggles that he's been lucky enough to where those passes haven't been completed. The quarterback hasn't thrown it his way. But I would say, even with those struggles, I mean, and by the way, these struggles are covering guys like Stephon Diggs. So even with these struggles, he's still getting better and better every week, playing pretty much cornerback one. So let's get straight to it. Deonte Banks. Deonte Banks at the bottom of your screen. He's 25, manned up on Terry. And just watch. This is what his game is all about coming out of the draft. This is what his game is all about. Watch him straight up just take Terry McLaurin out of the play. Just take him out of the play. Take him out of the game that quick. But before the play is even able to get run, he's able to get a good enough press on him to where it's all sideline at this point. Where are you going with the ball? It's all sideline at this point. Nowhere to go. So in this next play, Deonte Banks is at the top of your screen, manned up on Terry McLaurin, and he's in press man again. And this time he got a little bit too physical. And I think he got another call, which I have in this video too, but got a little bit too physical, held the press for a little bit too long, and they end up throwing the flag. I think this ball was uncatchable. It didn't really affect the play, but here he's going to start off with the press here. Nice one-arm extension. Got that hand to his chest. And at that point, you can kind of start to let go. There's no need to even touch him after that. So he lets go there. And then he puts his hands back on him, grabs him a bit. But there was no need to grab him. And the ball just sails over their head. So they throw a flag there, but come on. I mean, they throw a flag there. It's not really that bad as far as interference goes. There's contact, but they're kind of hand fighting. But just him grabbing the jersey right there is going to get the holding call. So that's why they throw the flag, even though this ball goes out of bounds, because it's a holding call. And then watch as they're going back and forth. This is something that you like to see out of your young corner. He's not scared to go against this wide receiver one. Terry McLaurin has got to be at worst, top 20 wide receiver, but I think he's a special receiver, as you'll see a little bit later in this film session. But they throw the flag down and watch Terry. He's like, look, they threw a flag. They threw a flag. So they're going back and forth right there. And it's just fun to see your corner. He's not backing down. And he's got Terry. He got Terry's head out of the game because he's pointing flags. He's going back and forth with the rookie. Now, this is the play I mentioned where Deonte Banks, who's at the bottom of your screen, pretty much presses Terry out of bounds. And it gets called for a holding penalty because he's still making contact more than 5 yards downfield. But what really happened here is Terry couldn't get off the press. He really just couldn't get off the press. And at this point, he's kind of holding them, but they kind of start to stumble, and that's what causes the flag. But I don't really think this is a bad play from Deonte Banks. They're just kind of both hand fighting. You see Terry grabs his shoulder pad and pushes it. So tough call there, but real physical play by Deonte Banks at the bottom of your screen. Again, I say this, and it is what it is. Guys can get away with this. Some guys like to press this way, some guys don't. But it just is what it is there. Pressing with both hands, shooting with both hands. And again, if it's a 1-2 instead of a 1, if it's the right hand and then the left instead of both, Terry can't get rid of both arms at the same time, and you don't have to hold. If it's a shot to the chest right there. Let's see. If it's a shot to the chest right here with the right hand, and then you're replacing that shot with the left hand, almost like an offensive lineman where they replace the hands. That way, Terry can't swipe away both hands at the same time, and you're not having to hold right there. So the Giants have been playing more zone coverage over the last couple of weeks, and Deonte Banks has made some plays out of that. and he's also just been really good in zone coverage. But also, they still be playing their man coverage. So take a look at Deonte Banks at the top of your screen. He's going to start off by pressing Terry McLaurin. Kind of a late press here, which he kind of gets away with, but he still stays with guys, so I won't be mad at it. But again, it's two hands. And he's trailing here, and he's beat, and he's kind of panicking, as you can see in his body language here, where he kind of lunges over. I'll rewind this so you can see it. Kind of lunges over a little bit, but he does manage to stay right in the play. He regains his composure mid-stumble, and he's stride for stride with the receiver. Nowhere for that ball to go if they were targeting Terry McLaurin. And nice recovery, and just shadows the receiver right there. And on this next play, this is just a regular bump and run go route. I think he's against dots in this play, I'm pretty sure, at the top of your screen. And this is just the go route, and it's just Deonte Banks. This is what we drafted him for. Being able to run down the field in man coverage and not be beat, and still kind of bait the quarterback too. So take a look at the top of your screen, nothing crazy. So he's going to basically mirror this receiver who's going to start off with a split release. Watch this. Goes into the split, and Deonte Banks mirrors it. Mirrors the split. Takes this into, I would like to see him take this into a shuffle back sideways to stay in front of him, but nonetheless, still stays with him in coverage. Gets into that hip pocket. And some people might say he's got a step on him. He does not have a step on him. Deonte Banks at this point he's a guy that's so athletically gifted that this step that he's kind of given is a step that he can easily make up when the ball gets in the air. Ball doesn't go his way, but nonetheless, you got the safety over the top anyway. So I want to give a shout out to a sponsor on the channel, Underdog Fantasy, and it's kept me really invested in Week 1's games this year. And I've been having a lot of fun, to be honest with you all. You scroll through it. I've been using Pick'em. You scroll through it, you find out, is this player going to be higher or lower than this amount of passing yards or this amount of rushing yards? And you can bundle these players up all the way up to 5 different players. And the more players you put in, the more you can possibly win. You can also use insurance there that's going to make sure that if you get 4 out of that 5, you still get paid. So whether you put in 5, whether you put in 10, whether you put in 20, all the way up to 100, they will match that 100% all the way up to $100 if you use code Diggy. You will not regret it. I've been having a lot of fun. Do it today. So on this next play, you got double in routes. And excuse my art right here. They're just basically running rocker steps right around here and then attacking the middle of the field. And they're both running the same route to try to cause some confusion around this safety, both of these corners. And Terry's going to take the inside release and get up the field. So real simple play. Real simple play here. And just take a look at Deonte Banks at the top of your screen. He is running this route for the receiver. Running the route for the receiver. Take a look at him. Right at the top of your screen, boom. Inside release. And he is right over top of that. Right over. I mean, there's no point in this route where the receiver is open. And he does not push the receiver down. He's taking a look at his hips. And the receiver trips. And he knows exactly where he's going. So this next play is actually more of a Wink Martindale highlight than anything else. And you're just going to have a fade route here. And you're going to have a slant here. Really common goal line combo for wide receivers. And most of the time, you have these guys picking off each other's defenders. And it's an easy touchdown. And Sam Howell actually makes the wrong read. He makes the wrong read here. So what you have is both Giants cornerbacks. Deonte Banks is at the top of your screen. And both of them, I think that's Cordell Flat there, both of them are going to follow number 4. Deonte Banks is pretending like he's going to try to shoot over the top of this, but he's really just double teaming number 4. So he's double teaming 4, and watch Jason Pinnock, the safety, right on the A on the Giants in the end zone. He's just going to break down like a mad demon at the football. And because Sam Howell just stares at number 4 because he's not looking at Pinnock. Because he just stares down number 4 and is like, I'm going to throw it there regardless. This ball doesn't get intercepted for a pick six. So his ignorance in this situation helped him out, because if he just says, I'm going to take off and rip this right here on this slant, I think this is to Terry McLaurin. If he's just going to rip that right there, either Terry McLaurin gets blown up, or he makes a great catch and maybe scores, or Jason Pinnock catches this and scores, because no one is going to catch him with that head of steam. So in this next play, Deonte Banks is in zone coverage here. And to Sam Howell, this looks like a busted coverage. So Dotson is going to run across the field here. Terry McLaurin is going to kind of just run sort of a wheel route. And you're going to have the tight end run across this way. So from Sam Howell's perspective, he's like, the route combination is working out well, and I got a guy wide open. So I'm going to let this play, but listen, if you don't want stuff to be paused, I mean, at this point, it's like banging your head against the wall, because I'm going to pause this stuff. It just is what it is. But we're going to let it play until I hit pause, and I'm going to freeze it. Bam. Sam Howell is throwing this football as Deonte Banks is at the 50. He's throwing this ball because you have a receiver. He's throwing with anticipation. He's like, I have a receiver that is wide open. Probably looking back at it, his safest spot would have been right here. But there's almost no way that he can figure this out unless he's seen a ton of film about how these corners play this in the NFL. But you got a receiver running wide open across the middle of the field. Sam Howell, of course, is going to wind up to throw this. Little does Sam Howell know is that Deonte Banks is already getting upfield to make this play. It's complete bait. Already getting upfield to make this play. The ball could have beat him. It could have beat Deonte Banks because he wanted to gamble, but it didn't. So he was able to catch up to the receiver, and he was able to make a play on the football. Over the shoulder, just like a receiver. Great catch for a defensive back. I mean, as good a catch as you would expect the defensive back to make. Now, like I said, Sam Howell, if he throws this ball right here, Deonte Banks might be cooked. But maybe even then he kind of gets a hand on it then. But because that ball is a tick underthrown, but he thought he had all of the space in the world to throw it, Deonte Banks is able to get under it, get an interception, and almost take out Andrew Thomas's hamstring again, as Andrew Thomas buries him like he would a defensive lineman right there. Look at that. Look at that kick slide right there, moving that leg out of the way. So this next play is on the last drive of the game, and Deonte Banks is trying to bait Sam Howell to basically come out with an interception to wrap this game up. And he came close to it, but again, for a second time, Sam Howell avoids an interception by either making the wrong read or simply just throwing an inaccurate throw. So this time it's an inaccurate throw. Deonte Banks is manned up on the bottom of your screen on Terry McLaurin. Watch him. I mean, Sam Howell has got to notice this next time, but just watch him just jump out of the way of Terry McLaurin. He's just going to just sidestep him. Sidestep him right there as his eyes are still on the quarterback. Sam Howell is thinking that this is man coverage. It's not man coverage. So that free release that you think he got, as far as a guy is trailing him, this guy is looking at you the entire time. And if this ball is accurately thrown, Deonte Banks either swats this away or catches an interception. So let me let this play so you all can see this ball in real time. But if this ball is accurately thrown, this is an interception. It's going back the other way. Now, these are the two back-to-back plays I'm going to show you where Deonte Banks gave up deep shots to Terry McLaurin. First off, Terry is a monster. The dude does this to everybody almost every week. Every time they throw it up, he's a guy that just comes down with the ball like in ridiculous fashion every week. So this is not really bad coverage, but you're just playing against a dog. So Terry McLaurin is at the bottom of your screen. Does a good job at the point of release. Doing a good job stacking Deonte Banks, but it's not even a full stack. It's kind of like a half stack. Deonte Banks is still running with him. He's still in his hip pocket. He's still there. Still got his eyes on the receiver in man coverage. You got the safety coming over the top. And this ball usually will not be completed, but you got a decent throw, I'll say it's a good throw from Sam Howell, who Sam Howell would save Terry McLaurin if he put this ball a little bit further outside. But I mean, listen, difficult throw, difficult catch. So puts the ball out there for Terry. He gets laid out, but look at where Deonte Banks is as the ball. If the ball isn't thrown, if it's thrown like a yard shorter, it's an incompletion. If it's thrown a yard further to the outside, it's probably an easier catch. But either way, Deonte Banks is literally stride for stride with him in his hip pocket. And usually your safety hitting this guy like this breaks up the ball. Now, it didn't. And they threw a flag on this, which, I mean, he just pretty much ran into him. He didn't lead with the helmet at all, which was just completely an unnecessary flag. But it happened. But Terry McLaurin came down with that football. So that's just a Terry McLaurin play, and I'm sure you'll see him let him know. All right, so this is another play where it's just like, listen, I have Terry McLaurin on my team if I'm Sam Howell, and I'm just throwing him the football because he's my best player on offense. So this time, Deonte Banks is at the top of your screen, and he just loses the ball in the sun, stumbles a bit, and this is what causes this to be completed. So take a look at him at the top of your screen again. And man coverage does a good job staying with him again. And as he turns around, this is really difficult to see. As he turns around, he's looking right into the sun, and then he stumbles, and this ball just gets completed. And the only thing right here is you had McKinney come over the top, and I guess he assumed that he touched him. But how can you possibly know? Maybe he sees it right here. How can you possibly know if McKinney touched him or not? Make sure that Terry McLaurin is down instead of complaining to the ref, because also something you can't see is as he stumbles, Terry McLaurin kind of pushes off there and pulls his arm down as he's looking into the sun and as he's kind of off balance, and he's looking for a flag, and you got to make sure your guy's down, because this could have been a touchdown that you gave up because you're busy complaining to the referees, and the referee is talking back with him. And look at the left side of your screen. Look at the left side of your screen as you got a coach on the sideline saying, go touch him, go get him down. And Deonte Banks is still arguing with the referee. And all right, thank y'all for rocking with me for this long. I don't know what point in the video this is going to be. I'm guessing probably somewhere around 18 to 20 minutes in. So if you're still here, shout out to you. Deonte Banks at the bottom of your screen this time. This is one of the plays that will go unremembered, that will be forgotten, but was a huge play in this game. It was a huge play in this game. Of course, the interception is probably his most impactful play, but right here, he's going to be in trail coverage and trail man coverage across the field, following Terry McLaurin across the field here. And the fact that he's able to catch up and make this tackle on 3rd and 9 before McLaurin picks up this first down, if he's not able to catch up here and this turns into a touchdown, which a lot of cornerbacks it does, this could be a very different game. We could be saying, you know, this is another loss. So McLaurin instantly has separation here on this drag. He's running across the field. And Sam Howell is late with this football. He's late with the football. But, again, take a look at Deonte Banks. Run Terry McLaurin down, short of the first down marker. And the next play is, guess what? A blocked field goal from Leonard Williams. So, if he does not make this play, we could be talking about losing the game. So, I'll just stop it right here. I am very pleased with the way I've seen Deonte Banks play against #1 receivers. I've done film sessions on him the last 2 or 3 weeks straight, and I just don't think I've uploaded any of them. So I'm happy to finally upload one so you all can see how well he's playing on a play-in and play-out basis. I would say that this game was much better than last week, even though he gave nothing up last week to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, I mean, took him to school. But the plays that Terry McLaurin made on Deonte Banks this time were hard-fought plays, and plays where, I mean, sometimes Terry McLaurin, it could have been called for offensive pass interference. And then that other deep ball, the first one, just was an amazing catch. So Deonte Banks is going to be a star in this league at cornerback. He is just absolutely exceeding expectations I had for him in year one. And you guys let me know what you're thinking of Deonte Banks. I mean, we're almost halfway through the season, and he has not looked like that bad rookie corner yet. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.